Greetings, everyone! Welcome to my retro review of Sonic the Hedgehog issue 218, the second and final part of the Thicker Than Water storyline. To briefly recap, Sonic and Bunnie head into the Sandblaster territory only to get separated. Sonic made an uneasy alliance with the Sandblasters to help rescue Bunnie in exchange for getting them the Oil Ocean refinery. Bunnie, however, is reunited with her beloved uncle and wants to do all that she can to help them. When the two sides meet, well, let's just say things are about to get ugly. On the sidelines, the Sandblasters and the Baron's forces watch as Sonic and Bunnie continue duking it out. They try to explain to one another their reasons for the attack. The facility cannot fall into the hands of Eggman's forces or the Sandblasters. I mean, the Sandblasters are, even though they consider themselves freedom fighters, they're pains in the rear. And Eggman's forces, at least in this region, are the victims of said Sandblasters. If the refinery did not exist, they would have no reason to stay, and thus both reach an agreement. The fight is now a cover to destroy the facility. Unfortunately, both sides realize this and move in to attack. Sonic and Bunnie go for the Sandblasters for being the bigger jerks. Of course, the Sandblasters stood no chance. I mean, come on. Jolt calls Sonic too slow? Big mistake.
You're too slow!
And even though Sonic is weak against Tex, he is no match for Bunnie's backhand and shift. Seriously. A bear trap to Bunnie's mechanical arm? Jack no longer cares for the conditions of the refinery as long as Sonic and Bunnie die. The Baron thwarts their revenge, but at the same time scolds Bunnie for her actions. The Baron's forces were responsible for guarding the facility, and it's for Eggman's newest project. This explosion certainly doesn't help matters. Sonic and Bunnie explain to the Baron that they prevented the Sandblasters from getting the facility, and by mentioning Sonic's involvement, it lets the Baron's forces off the hook. Even though there is tension, Bunnie and her uncle have a heartfelt goodbye. Aww. Sonic cheers her up by stating that they've done good, and both head home. Back at home, old Max here tells his wife to bring him good old Jeffrey's skunk boy. We have a backup story involving Eggman examining Snively's latest actions. Making multiple calls to the Dragon Kingdom, Eggman suspects that it has something to do with Regina the Iron Queen. Snively counters that he was just setting up Eggman's new enforcers. Playing back the tapes, it's revealed that Snively was setting up Conquering Storm to be Eggman's new sub-boss in the Dragon Kingdom. So it seems that Snively is in the clear, right? Wrong. Snively asked about the Iron Queen, and Conquering Storm says that she is in a stone prison far from any technology, and that's where the transmission ends. Eggman forces Snively to end the relationship now. Snively, having blasters pointed at his head, had no choice but to acknowledge the end of the romance. A gleeful Eggman sends Snively on his way, but the treacherous Snively has something up his sleeve. The backup story shows more Iron Dominion fallout as Snively appointed Conquering Storm as a new sub-boss, while at the same time trying to find out about the Iron Queen. Eggman is pretty nasty here, forcing Snively to end the relationship at gunpoint. But Snively, being who he is, will not take this lightly, and he is planning something. In fact, we will actually see the result in the Sonic Universe arc Scramble, starring Eggman. Anyway, Jamal Peppers has penciled this backup issue, and I have to say, well, his Snively has gotten better. I mean, his nose is bigger. So I will give this backup story an 8 because it's merely just set up for a future story arc, and one of the greatest story arcs in Sonic Universe, so yeah. Now for the main event. This is not the first time Sonic and Bunnie have fought each other, but this time it's completely free-willed and for justifiable reasons. They don't want Eggman or the Sandblasters to have the facility, but Bunnie's uncle and his forces would be punished for failing Eggman. So they improvised. Now of course the two would go after the Sandblasters because they are the bigger jerks. The Oil Ocean Refinery bears little resemblance to the Oil Ocean in Sonic the Hedgehog 2. I think it's the lack of green and yellow in the actual facility, but we're getting there. The Baron mentioned that the refinery was for Eggman's new massive flying machine, which was revealed to be the Death Egg Mark II a few issues later. In fact, these series of 2-issue story arcs that started at issue 213 build up to the Death Egg's reveal in issue 224. Now, the Baron is one of the best characters created for this comic. A good guy who made a deal with the devil to fight back against those fanatical jerks. And take a look at this goodbye scene. Clearly he still cares about his niece, but they are on opposite sides of the war. Thankfully, he and Matilda the Armadillo would make a few more appearances in the comic before the Genesis Wave reboot. Only time will tell if they will appear in the new universe. The ending with a senile Max would set in motion events lasting a good while. Of course, I'm talking about the King Naugus arc. So, overall, I will give this main story a 9.5 out of 10. Ben Bates here does excellent work for his second time out. This is his second issue that he penciled, and he's quickly becoming my favorite artist, so yeah. Now, thanks to the recent comic events, any retro review I do from now on will be a remembrance to the old continuity. And with that, I will see you at my next retro review at some point. So, see ya!